So the punk rock did not go over very well. I get it.
Because I was thinking like I do like the rock side, but that is like so in your face.
I know. I imagined it like being
Okay.
like an opener, and it's like all these like quick shots of just like images and pictures, and it's just like flipping through like a, like a whole bunch of pictures like real fast, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're on, and we're like, hey.
So it starts out with a lot more higher energy sort of style.
Yeah.
We've got the chill, or we've got like the
Yeah.
super high energy.
But I can see where you were going with some sort of ambient music.
Well, okay, so I think we could do, what if we found like the bridge between those two things, where there's something that is ambient, like that is
Hmm.
like, it's not as like double guitar hitting the A chord, slamming down the riff with the drum solo in the background, but also not like, okay, I could lo-fi this music and fall asleep.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I really, at this point, I'm fine with anything.
All right, so usually we do some sort of introduction, but this is like episode 1, so I'm not
Hi.
sure. Have we settled on the name NFT,
I don't know, have we?
the NFT party?
No, not no. Oh my God. How about, how about Tales of the Microphone?
two idiots, two mics, and an NFT. There we go. That's the name of it. Two idiots, two mics, and an NFT. Okay, so what do we talk about? Like, how do you say like
Well, I think we start by saying that we had a good run
we
for a
had a
little
good
while
we had
there.
a good run? Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, we did. We had some fun. We had some good episodes, and I think, things sort of hit a lull.
Yeah, it's interesting because like we kind of we met through the Blockstars game. How did you and I connect in that way? Like, what was the first impetus in that conversation?
You know what? I almost don't remember now.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
it's so weird.
uh, I really almost I remember I had seen you around, and I'd also, you early on had been called up to the stage during one of the town halls,
Right,
like,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah, in the very beginning, and I was like, oh, who's this guy?
But then okay, so then but there was the yeah, who's this guy? Of course. uh
It's like, oh, we got one of those.
but we had this we worked on this project together, which eventually became the Oracle for Blockstars tools.
Mhm.
And how did we start working together? Because I don't know. We
I
entered this
think
big like Magic Eden hackathon, which I think we should have
okay.
won. But
We definitely should have won that, but I'm going to tell you exactly from my point of view how it happened.
please
Okay.
do, because I've got no memory of this.
Okay. This is how I remember it. So you, like I said, you started being called up to the
Right.
Blockstar stage,
I
and you were talking like stats and all this kind of like,
because I'm a nerd.
you
Yes,
know,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it became like they wanted to hear from the community. And my feeling is that I think you probably like asked everybody else that you could think of, and they all said no, like they wouldn't go on live with you.
That's right.
um and then you were like, well, let me try this one, and I said yes. And then you were like, oh, okay, well, fine.
No, okay, okay. So it wasn't everyone that I could think of. I'm gonna put that out there. Uh I think because it was you, me, and I think there was one other person that was the, but there was one person that I definitely asked first, and they were also very
Mhm.
very active, but English wasn't their first language and they were
Yeah.
terrified. of
Right.
like, if I'm going to go on audio, I'm not sure. Like, I like to think about things and make sure my English is strong. And so I prefer text. Totally cool. Get it. No
Mhm.
problem. And so then I think you were the runner up at that point,
Right.
because because the pageant winner couldn't fulfill their duties. So
Exactly.
you stepped in.
Yeah, you asked me, and I'm like, sure, I'll talk without thinking about it and say stupid stuff. I don't care.
Right. And so
And
from there we built this tool. We started to interview some of the people in the game, and then you and I developed this friendship where we don't totally know each other, but we've started to get to know each other more and more. But at the same time, it's like there's this shared interest, shared desire for projects, and we just saw an opportunity to do something a little bit bigger in all of that, and that's where the relaunch
Mhm.
comes in.
and I think that it didn't hurt that, the Blockstars team are behind it. They're behind us doing this and want to help. And I think that's great. And I think that's part of the whole energy behind relaunching, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do appreciate too, just seeing the Blockstars team hiring from within the community. They continue to hold. I find this interesting. I'm in several different other NFT projects, and this is the one that has actually held onto their town halls every single week. Whereas many others, like, they've kind of fallen off, and it's like, oh, sorry, we haven't been around, haven't said anything in 3 weeks, but we're still building in the background. And I'm always like, are you though?
Hmm.
But I can't deny that from Blockstars, because they are very open and transparent. And that communication, I think, has helped foster a community which you and I have started to thrive in, which I know.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And I mean, I think at this point, it's like they've come this far doing these weekly town halls, and if they stop now, everybody would be like, "What the?"
Oh yeah, there would be mass panic,
Yes.
because these have gone on like every single week for
Yeah.
like 6 months.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
And I've only missed a couple,
and
honestly.
so this format, so normally what we had done was we kind of like, we did a little bit of gameplay footage with Blockstars, then we brought on somebody from Blockstars as an interview, or we unveiled some things or talked about some things. What is our new format? Where are we going with this, and what do we want to highlight?
So I think it's a little bit of the same. We'll still talk about block stars. We'll still talk about, other whatever stuff that comes up, other, insane, ridiculous conversations
Right.
that we might want to have. And we'll still have interviews. We'll still demo things, like we'll still demo our own tools. Um, we'll still interview people from Blockstars, but we also might have some other secret surprise people that we interview.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about some of that stuff too. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I find interesting about building tools and dev work in this space is it's because once one person hears that you're a dev and able to build tools, I don't know if you've found this, but I have a bunch of projects that are like, could you do this for me? Could you do, how about this? How much would you charge? How about this? And I feel like I'm slowly getting inundated because people are hearing of the work that you and I are doing. I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my word, there's just such a starving nature for some of that. But on the other hand, it's giving me opportunity to do some exciting things, or at least consider some exciting projects. And it's like Christmas morning sometimes for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. I mean, I'm kind of seeing, every time I see somebody say, "Hey, it would be great if this," the first thing I do is think, "Oh, I got to talk to KR because that would be cool, and we should do that." So, I think it is kind of interesting, that people are reaching out because, I mean, I guess it's sort of like when when you work, like I work for a big company. So I think it's when you work for a big company, right? And a lot of people, you can get like just lost in the mix, right? But if you do something really great for one person, then odds are that person's going to come back because they're going to be, hey, she did this really great thing, and now I need something else, so I'm gonna go ask her. And then it just becomes like repeat business. So I think once you do one thing that people like and really wanted and really impress them, they're going to come back, because
Mm-hmm.
it's the nature. It's, I don't want to say it's like, here, the first one's free, come back, where to find more, but
you're you're their dev work dealer. So you're just,
exactly.
I'll give you a little bit of Python, and so if
Yeah,
you next time you another hit, you just let me know. And like,
yeah, exactly. But I don't ever like to sort of like represent that some of the stuff that I do, or even, some of the stuff that you do, that it's like you're the only person on the planet who can do this. I think anybody can. It's just that a lot of times people don't, or don't have the time, or don't really, have the confidence, maybe.
well, and I've been a part of several projects where I don't know if the dev was necessarily like in like unable to achieve what they set out to do, or they just got bored or tired, but they end up leaving. Like the project gets screwed over when the dev just walks away, whether
Mm.
they've taken money with them or not. And I've been a part of so many projects where the dev just leaves, and it's terrified. And then I go to other projects where they're just starving for devs, and it to me it feels like this is just ripe with an opportunity for people who are not good devs or not good people,
Yeah.
people of poor ethics, could really take advantage of this, because all you got to
Yeah.
do is just talk a big game and then walk away with the paycheck but never deliver. And that terrifies me. And I've had, there's this one project that reached out to me, that I'm a part of, and they had asked me to potentially build a Discord bot for them, just something incredibly simple, straight up, put some information up for them. This is what and they want to be able to change the information on the fly. Okay, I see what you, and they're like, how much would you charge for that? And we can pay you up front. And like, I'm like, well, one, like, I'm good with upfront payment, but on the other side, I'm like, don't do this. Like,
Right.
this is a terrible way to do things. I'll tell you what, I'll set up another Discord server, I will show it off, and then you can pay, and I will deliver on that same day. Like, we will do a transaction that way.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh my word, don't do this. This is how the project will lose money. And if I'm part of the project, I don't want the project to lose money.
Yeah, but the good thing is that they're coming to you, and you are trustworthy. So,
That's my hope. That's my
I
hope.
know. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, so you can sort of make some headway and fight these battles one at a time, doing projects for the underprivileged projects out there. You're kind of like a little like dev superhero.
Maybe we should call it two devs in a dream.
Ooh.
As we try to navigate this crazy space called NFTs.
Ugh. If my only job were just to be a developer, that would be a great day. That would be awesome, but I don't have that luxury.
Not yet, anyway. Not yet.
Not yet. Who knows? Drink enough tea and anything could happen.
Well, I know we should talk a little bit about Blockstars, what they've got going on, since they are a wonderful sponsor of the show. And I think the two newest things, at least for us and for Blockstars, are the thing that you built, the band maker, and then their idle animations. So I'll talk a little bit about idle animations, but I want to hear, what are your thoughts on the band maker? What did you want? How do you use it? What is it?
The thing for me was like, as soon as they released the information about genres and subgenres, and what instruments are required, and minimum number of instruments and maximum, like I think they were PDFs, if I'm not mistaken. And I looked at it and I was like, this is really great, but it's a PDF. I can't do anything with this. So, about half an hour later, I had scraped that PDF and it was all in Excel. And I was like, okay, well, this is good. And then over the course of the next, week or so, I went through many iterations of like cleaning it up, reformatting it, putting it into, in a different format so it could actually be sort of like a normalized data table because, I have OCD, I guess. Data OCD anyway.
Right, right.
And I was like, I want to be able to use this. And so along the way I was using it because I was, I figured, well, let me try to plan my bands because, Blockstars, the floor price was low. And I was like, this is a great time to figure out if I'm missing anything, or to decide, what bands do I want to make and, am I one instrument away or is there no possible chance? Uh, so I started using it in spreadsheet format, and then I was like, oh, this is rough. And so I was like, I tried a bunch of different tools and landed on it's actually a Tableau front end. I played around with that for a little while until it got it to a point where I liked using it. And then
Yes.
then I knew it was like, okay, then I was done. I was like, all right, if I can use it, then I can show other people.
Well, and I
So
find it interesting because it gives me some perspective in terms of like I have this 5-star maracas player, but I know lots about music, but I don't know what good is a maracas player. Like what
mhm,
genres is there other than maybe a Latin style somewhere? That's all I got for the maracas.
mhm.
But I'm able to see now, like, oh, okay, there's a lot of different types of bands that I can put this one in. And so I'm excited because at least I can start to plan my band a little bit better. There's like 5 or 6 different, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different genres that include maracas that will be required. So I'm like, sweet.
Mhm.
He's got a
Yeah.
place. He's got
Well, that's good. That's
yeah.
great. And I think that's like a good story. For me, I have this xylophone that I absolutely love. I mean, I love it so much. And I realized using the band maker tool that I'm not going to be able to put him in a band. So
You got yeah, because your options for xylophone are big band and glam rock.
so limited. Yes.
So
I mean,
limited.
so limited. And I was just like, okay, well, there goes that. But I'm not, but I'm keeping him because I like him. So
That's your busker for there. That's what that is.
he's a busker, and also he's actually pretty expensive too. So
So it would take a band pretty low at that point.
I might be able to use him for if, NGMI when that comes out. And so kind of touching on one of our later topics that we'll talk about. But
I do, I
um
do find it interesting. So I'm looking at both glam rock and big band. So let's say you have a xylophone, you want to make the xylophone work. You also have to have a grand piano,
mm,
which is quite rare. So both the xylophone and the grand piano have to be paired together in some way. Yeah, and a bunch of other instruments. That I think
yeah,
that
I
makes
mean,
xylophone even harder to use.
yeah, they're both. I mean, the big band is I think seven. Yeah, seven. Yeah, seven. So, that's a lot. That's a lot of instruments. So I kind of sadly reached the conclusion that I wouldn't be able to use my xylophone.
At least not in this iteration. So maybe in the second iteration there will be like a kids band or something, kids entertainer. Your Fred Penner, your Raffi, and they're the xylophone vocals. That's what.
Solo artist.
Yeah, xylophone
Okay.
vocals. That would be.
Okay, xylophone vocals, yeah. Minimum one, maximum one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you need to have these two skills.
Yep. Possibly, possibly.
Oh, that would be a
Well,
glorious genre.
all I can say is I'm happy with it. I'm happy I did it. I hope people are using it. I hope people like it. I just want you to like me.
Well, it's given me some perspective. It's certainly reaffirmed my desire for a cowpunk band. I will not lie on that. I didn't even know cowpunk was an actual genre until until Blockstars.
I
So
mean, is it though?
apparently it's a like Wikipedia agrees that it is a thing, and it's
Oh, okay.
drums, electric guitar, ukulele, and vocals. So I've got all that. Like I'm good, and I've got good players for all of that. So I think I can have a solid cowpunk band and dominate that chart.
I thought about it because I also have a ukulele, but I'm so down with the Celtic folk band that, you know.
Ah, yes. Like I have seen some, like I think right now on the marketplace, there is a 5-star acoustic guitar that is like a high musical caliber acoustic guitar. And I keep looking at that one. I think it's 2.44 Soul, which is I'm not spending that on a Blockstar right now. But I keep looking at that because I think like that one, there's a country, which is the country one? Country blues. Yeah, country blues is acoustic guitar and vocals,
That's it. Yeah.
and it's a one person band. That
Hmm.
Blockstar would be phenomenal for that category. And I
Hmm.
think those categories where there's just like one, like this Blockstar has to have like a couple of different skills and it's only one person, will be uh super successful and super hard to
Oh,
compete against.
could you hang on a sec? I need to get on Magic
Okay,
Eden
okay,
for a
okay,
minute.
sure,
I'll be
sure.
right
Yeah.
back.
But
Kidding.
that can segue really nicely because the reason why I found that one is because the tool that I was building, which was the lowest price tool.
Yes.
And so
Let's
like
talk about that.
so pure okay, so here's how it started. You'll get a kick out of this. Um Before we even made the Oracle, I was super interested in knowing what block stars were like the top in rarities, right? We were doing the how rare thing. This is before the skill set, the top in rarities. So what I did was I created a spreadsheet and had all of the block stars on the spreadsheet and all of the rarities on the spreadsheet, and then I pulled out all the ones that were mythic, legendary, etc. And I created a Magic Eden search that you would literally just copy this and then paste it into the search bar, and it would show me all of the mythics that were currently for sale. It would show me all the legendaries that were for sale, et cetera, all those rarities. And then I just did the same thing when the star system came out, 5-star, 4.5-star, 4-star. And periodically I would share my knowledge of what I had. I'd be like, hey, the cheapest 5 stars, this one kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
and I would throw that out there, and people seem to really, really enjoy that. And then it's just a lot of work for me to like open up the document, find the search, paste it in Magic Eden, have it show up. I could automate this, but I just never got around to it. And so I finally did automate it because more and more people were asking for it. And so I did. So I can quickly go to a place that I had set up on our website. It's not accessible to public as of yet, but it would show me that information, the cheapest of all of these, and I could and it formatted it for me that I could just copy it and paste it straight into the Discord, nicely formatted with some emojis and a few other things so that people can see that information really readily. And now people are asking, saying, can you make this a Discord bot so that it either does it automatically or we could type a command and it sends this information to us? I guess. Because yes, that does make sense. I would rather it do it automatically than me have to paste it in there too. So, but
Of course. I actually had no idea that's how you were doing it. I thought you were scraping all the data and you were just doing a database query.
I
Okay.
had a search for all those numbers, like all the 5 stars, and it's literally like it's just the block star numbers. So it'd be like 951 comma 958
Uh-huh. Yeah.
comma, and it would just be this massive string. And like the 4 stars had to be 2 different strings because it would overload Magic Eden's system if I did all of the 4 stars in one string. So I
Oh,
had to
wow.
do 2 different searches, and so it just got really complicated. Side note. So I just ran the thing again. That acoustic guitar that I was telling you about. So 3 days ago was 2.66. Yesterday was 2.44. Now it's 2.22.
Mm.
So I
Somebody likes even numbers.
not and they're motivated to sell.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find what that level is. So if you wanted this one, I would throw a bid in there, like a low bid, to see if they finally just get frustrated and take it. But
Uh,
the cheapest 4.5 and 4 stars are oboes currently, and so I'm gonna see what kind of bands carry oboes. There is two, and they are massive bands. So yeah,
well,
oboes are tough.
it's kind of funny. Like it'd be interesting to do like a survey and just to get like initial impressions, anonymous. What band genre and subgenre? What are you planning? Just right now. If
Right.
if bands were available right now, what do you have? What do you what's your plan? And just get get everybody to kind of tell what bands they're looking into, and then like it'd be really interesting to know, and then like throw it up in a bar chart and see. I think that would be cool,
See, and
because
I'm
I
yeah,
I
go on.
got discouraged about several because of a lot of different reasons, but and then there was one point where I had planned out so many bands that it was too many. I was just like, because I don't want to go over five. I've kind of made that
Right.
I've kind of made that rule for myself, because it is a rule in the game. Five per wallet, I think, is a rule,
Yeah.
and I just I it's a rule for me too. So
See,
um,
and I've got 70 block stars. And
mm,
so like that's already like that's more than five for
that
sure.
is, yes, that
But
is.
I also have two children that are very
Mm,
interested in playing, and I want to let them. So they're drafting from my set. So I'm in that weird phrase of like, do I make my bands first and say, here are the leftovers, feel free to pick and choose, or
uh-huh.
or like I don't want to compete against my kids either.
No, I think you make at least one or two bands, and then let them
These are
sort of
my
get in.
non-negotiables. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, something like that. So
Well,
that's funny.
I know my oldest, her desire is a K-pop band. And so K-pop is a minimum of 6 members.
Oh boy. And like all vocalists, or a lot of vocalists
Keyboard,
anyway.
triangle, and vocals. It's one of the few triangles. Like there's three different bands, and this is the lowest range of instruments, but the largest minimum number of band members. So she
Wow.
may just get one.
As we're talking, I'm kind of looking at the band maker tool, and I'm thinking, you know what? It would also be nice if I could just throw in the subgenre, and then and pull up that list, because right now you can't do that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So that might be something I want to add.
Before we move off, what is the block star that you own that you are most excited to see succeed?
That's like asking me to choose between my children.
Yeah, it is.
Uh,
And
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 I
and
only have
and
one,
as
so it's not that hard,
yeah,
but
as every parent knows, there are favorites.
they're definitely our favorite. I have a favorite son, obviously, but the one I'm most excited to see, I mean, there's a few that I'm kind of partial to, like my mandolin player. Kind of
Ooh.
excited about that one, just because I was so excited to see that, mandolin was in a band that I actually wanted to make, and it was just like a fluke, and I was like, oh well, now I'm going to get a mandolin, and I did. So so I'm kind of excited about that. And then let's see, maybe my accordion player.
Interesting. The
Yeah.
accordion player.
Because he's the one, I minted him, and
Ah, okay, okay.
And that's my top rated as well. Top number of stars, highest star value.
Okay.
So let's see.
Well, so I've got my one of my 5 stars, and this is a vocalist. 5052. He's got a really fun look, kind of looks like a John Bon Jovi, Billy that kind of like look to him. He's got a potential of 88 to 90 on vocals, which is why I'm most excited about him. He's currently at 86, so he's almost maxed out on vocals. But he's got a possibility of 100 in fame, and currently sitting at 60. And so I feel like this is going to be like the teen heartthrob. That's kind of where I'm going with this one.
You think so?
And so there is a genre that is teen pop that is like
boy.
one member, just vocals. Like, I think I got this one. He's got 2 other musical talents that you could insert into there, but there's this the look, it just seems to work for me. Like, I think that's where he should go.
Well, that's the shame of my xylophone player, is that the xylophone player is 4-star max, currently at 2.5.
Okay.
2.5, yeah. And potential for 89 at the xylophone. Not too shabby.
Well, yeah. Like that the xylophone's gonna thoroughly enjoy busking. Where's the violet? Busking at the park is the current best busking place. The public park, one of the new areas. The xylophone.
The xylophone?
Yeah, the public park is the best area currently for him.
Says you.
Well, okay.
Xylophones in general, you're saying?
Xylophones in general, because I do believe it is based on instrument that the public park, it's probably tied with one of the other previous areas, but the public park with the barbecue.
Flatbed truck must be close, because that's what
you're currently throwing in.
Yeah, because I have this script that I run that tells me where is the best place to busk each of my Blockstars.
And does that show the new areas? Does it show the new areas?
Yeah, I added them in because
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just that nerdy. Yeah. But he's a very high percentage. He what is he trying to be? 67% salary cut. So I mean, it could have, maybe it changed. I don't know. This last time that I sent everybody out to busk, I just threw them out there.
We should mention some of the other new areas that exist in the Blockstar verse. There is, of course, the public park barbecue with the weird purple haze that's going on in the background, with the Golden Gate Bridge in the distance, very San Francisco. The other 2, there is this is like Under the Pier, I think it's called.
Under the Pier, yeah. Like the song. With
the little picnic blanket and the fishing lines in the background. And then there is my favorite, and this is what is this one called? Is Boardwalk is what it's called. That one's my favorite. I love how that one looks.
One of my Blockstars is practicing, and they're practicing at Feel More Music venue. And I'm guessing that, I mean, for me, I feel like it's a play on Fillmore, the Fillmore, because we have a place called the Fillmore here in Miami Beach.
Oh.
But this one's called Feel More Music venue, which is kind of cool. So he's practicing there. And that place is really cool. If you look at that, it's very cool. I actually think only like 1 or 2 of my Blockstars are at the new places, because I feel like for some reason they weren't the best deal for some reason.
Yeah, for the practicing, yeah, because like my theory is, so everybody, I want to get to the max range as quick as possible. And so I am not practicing.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before. Yeah.
Right. I am just busking. That's not totally true. I think there's 2 that I am practicing.
Yeah, same here. Everybody's busking except for one, maybe two.
Right.
And that's because sadly, I have some Blockstars that have no current stars, 0 actually. So they're practicing. And I actually did get one of them to half of a star. So
Ooh. See,
I know.
I have my one rock bottom wage, and its daily rate is like 3 roll.
Oh my gosh.
Stupid low. 3-star max, which isn't bad. And my thought is that maybe I would practice this one because it's so cheap. Like it costs nothing to practice this one. And so I thought about throwing that out there, and then maybe that's the nag me. That's the not gonna make it. That's the NGMI. That's the one. That's maybe what I'm feeling. It's a pretty good banjo player, and it's and with a rock bottom wage, so it's like maybe I add them into a band. Haven't thought that far ahead, but that's kind of where I was leaning.
Okay.
Yeah. So my theory is, and so for those that I know, my theory, but I'll share, is when you busk, it actually increases your practice skill as well.
Yep.
So it does your fame, it does social media, it does practicing, and it does, there's one more, gigging, I think. No, not gigging. I gotta look at my charts. There's 4.
Yeah.
There's 4 that it does. Either way, the idea though is that it's making me money with that, and because all of my Blockstars are actually making money when they busk, but I've heard that there are some that don't, which I was shocked by.
Me too. Yeah.
When I do that, their practicing skill is going up. So then when I'm paying to train them because their practice skill is too high, I'm going to be paying less to train their music up because they're better at practicing. That's kind of my theory. And so that's what I'm going with, which means though, when the game launches, those that practiced constantly, they'll be ahead of me. And I'm okay with that. Because I feel like I will catch up quicker and be far more ahead in the long run as a result. That's kind of my thinking.
Yeah, I just can't say no to making the roll. So that's why everybody's busking. It's just it's too good to pass up. And so just like you, all of mine are making money, and they're getting XP and they're improving their skills. So why not? So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I think let's just sign it off and we'll edit from there.
Yeah, I mean, let's just sort of wrap up by telling with this new relaunch that we will be putting content out weekly. It's either going to be pre-recorded, or it will be live. A good portion of it will be live when there's exciting stuff. And one thing that we didn't mention yet is part of the sponsorship that Blockstars has provided to us includes getting some sneak peeks or exclusives, if you will.
I'm pretty excited about it. Like I'm thinking to like just overall new format, which means like we will still talk a lot about Blockstars. We'll talk about some gameplay, but we're going to be bringing in as well some other projects to talk about, some things that we think are really, really cool that could inspire both the play to earn space as well as the Blockstar space, the dev space, all of this that we kind of go in and hope to have some sort of fun along the way with y'all and enjoy a game that we're pretty excited about too.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds cool.
All right. Well, that's it for me. I'm Karg.
You are, and I'm Franzini.
And we'll see y'all next time. Be sure to check out our tools, blockstars.tools, and of course check out Blockstars, blockstars.gg. See ya.
Bye.